There are jobs to be claimed, there are roles to be filled, but who exactly is going to fill these positions that were left in shambles? Well, I got news for you. We'll talk about it right here on Tri-State Sports, so let's hit it and get it started.
I could trip a referee, tell by my attitude that I most definitely from.
The Jets completed a historical number of interviews for head coaches and general managers. I'm not going to name them all because we don't have the time, but here's where we stand. The Jets have found their head coach and their general manager. Let's start with the head coach, Aaron Glenn, Lions defensive coordinator, former Jets player for nearly a decade. He returns to the team that drafted him 31 years ago to try and reset the culture in Gotham. I tell you, I like the hire. Obviously, you guys know he wasn't my first choice, but you just got to go with the guy who's best fit for the job at this point because Vrabel went to New England. So where does that leave you? Brian Flores wasn't coming here, especially after those last two games. And listen, I like it. We'll touch on Aaron Glenn in a second. Now, our general manager, his name is Darren Muji. Now, he takes over at the GM position after spending over a decade with the Broncos as a scout and an assistant GM. I like what he had to say, but it was really what Aaron Glenn said that got to me. And now, let's take a look at this really quickly. Aaron Glenn, his opening press conference was amazing. He really knows how to light a fire under you. Please, I beg you, restore this franchise to greatness. And I'm going to quote something really quickly. Aaron Glenn, during his closing statement, said, "We're the New York Jets, and we're built for this." I'll let you figure out that last word. Anyways, listen, I need the Jets to just kind of like really find themselves again. Establish a culture. Establish your identity. Who are you? What do you want to accomplish? That's the most important thing for an NFL franchise. So it's up to the Jets to figure that out now. You still got these young players. Does Rodgers come back? We'll probably find that out by hopefully the Super Bowl, maybe a little after. That's up for them to decide, though. I'm glad that Woody's staying out of it. And off we go. Now let's head to the Garden. The Knicks are on a 4-game win streak. That's the New York Knicks I'm talking about. Dominating Rivals Week in the NBA by defeating the Nets and the Hawks, throwing another win over the Kings in there. And my favorite one, powering their way over to a decisive win over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Knicks, knock on wood, finding their form once again, and you love to see it. This team, people don't realize, when this team is rolling, they're nearly impossible to beat. Before they lost and ended their streak to the Thunder, nobody was competing with them, blowing teams out. Heck, they were blowing out the Thunder at one point in that game, and unfortunately they lost because the Thunder are just that good. And I wish they got them back at the Garden, but it is what it is. There's not much you can do about it now. There's nothing you can do about it now. And that's just where we stand with the Knicks. Hopefully they continue this. They got a tough stretch coming up against some tough opponents from the Western Conference. The Nuggets are up next. I can't wait. We've had the Nuggets number recently, so I hope for a good game because I'm a sports fan, obviously, but as a fan of this team, I need to see more quality wins, and that's what gets you to the big time. You got to keep it going, New York. Let's go. Now, MetLife Stadium has some interesting things going on with it. We know the Jets, they got their coach, GM, hooray. Let's see how that goes. The Giants recently, they've been relatively interesting, not for the greatest reasons, but we'll start off with the good part. Malik Neighbors, he has been named to the Pro Bowl as an alternate. Congrats to him. He deserves it. That guy is amazing, and I hope he has a great career ahead of him. Kayvon Thibodeau, though, he got into it with Dez Bryant on social media. That's, sheesh, not very good. I don't know why you're beefing with Dez Bryant. Listen, Dez Bryant, been out of the league for a little while, but there's just no reason to really do that. I mean, what's your point? Like, you're going at Dez Bryant because he doesn't respect you or you as a player. That's what we're doing now? Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The Giants just really not knowing how to stay off of social media, taking after Sauce Gardner. Maybe go play golf with him. Maybe you'll figure it out. Mike Kafka. That's right, I didn't stutter. I didn't stutter and I didn't glitch. Mike Kafka is getting head coaching interviews with the Saints and the Raiders. Okay. He's been awful since he got to New York, so I don't see the benefit in hiring him as a coach. I don't know if it's just to fill the Rooney rule or if the Giants are really just like, maybe we can find somebody better. Brian Dable takes over play calling for good. And speaking of Brian Dable, he was spotted meeting with Shedeur Sanders. Oh, Shedeur Sanders, how controversial of a prospect you are. Now, there's the possibility of the Titans possibly not taking a quarterback, as well as the quarterback position for the Browns not being filled in the first round either. It's just a really bleak situation for the Giants. I mean, what do you do? Like, what's your goal? Like, do you have a direction? Is Mike Borgonzi playing poker with you? I don't know, and we're not going to get an answer until maybe about March. So, Giants fans, hang tough. It's going to be a little while, but I know you could do it. You've won a lot of rings in the past, and just a little while longer, and hopefully, you'll be able to figure it out. On that note, though, it's going to do it for this episode. This is the time of the year when New York really starts to transcend into either madness or success. Maybe a little both. It's going to be chaotic no matter how you spin it. I can't wait. You can't wait. So until then, have a fantastic rest of your day. And as always, go Jets.